Hey there guys, so something happened before this video, and I filmed the clips on my phone on what happened, but they wouldn't connect to my laptop, so I had to film the phone with my camera. So the video is incredibly bad quality, and it's kind of just me kind of complaining. So if you don't care at all about my problems, which is probably the majority of you, please skip ahead to this time spot in the video. Thank you.
Hey there guys, I hope I'm in the frame. I would do it so that, you know... Hi Smidge. Hi Smidge. Like, I have to show the camera. So, my camera looks like this, and, recently, normally, when I can just record stuff, instead it's telling me that there's a file name error. Now, I found a video, I'll try my best to link it below, so he told me to go to the home button, so you get this. How can I say this? Okay. Now you go to these tool things. I'm filming with my phone right now, if it's not obvious. Then you go to the wrench, then you go down. I said you go down, learn how to go down camera. I swear to God, you're being very annoying right now. The file numbering, and it was like this. You're supposed to go like this, reset, go out. It still kind of shows the error. That should be green and should say how much space I have left, not just end. Then he suggested turning off the camera and then turning it back on, and then it would work. The first time I did this, it did work. And I thought that meant that I was like resetting the thing and I would never have to worry about it till the end of my days. Or at least for another couple of years. But now it just popped up again, and now it doesn't work. And I've tried a lot of things. I even tried resetting everything. And for a moment, I thought that it had just wiped all the videos and photos from my camera, which would have been extremely annoying. Thankfully it didn't. I just set it so that it would go from the camera's direct memory instead of the SD card, but still, there's a file name error. Now I looked up, I found this thing, and it suggests that if all else fails, remove all the videos and photos from the camera. This is going to be very tough for me to do, because my camera is supposed to hold up to 4 hours of space. And which is why I freaked out when all the videos were wiped, because it was only saying an hour of space was available, 58 minutes actually, and I was like, what? Turns out that it was from the memory, not the SD card, so the SD card has 4 hours of memory. But recently, I've always been cutting it close. You probably remember in some of my older videos I've mentioned running out of space on my camera, because I like to keep as much stuff on my camera as possible. I do back them all up to the laptop, but I like to have them on my camera, just in case if everything gets knocked sideways. So I have, like, well over, like, 200 clips of videos that I filmed, like, years ago on this camera, and they are on my laptop. I'm going to be wiping them out for my safe space. I can't even tell if you can see me right now, but I hope that you can. This is going to be very strange for me, wiping out every single video and photo. I was just freaking out. I thought that happened. It didn't. Now I have to make it happen. So wish me luck. Okay, my phone is a bit blurry right now. Why are you blurry? You shouldn't be blurry. Just... Okay, well that says the word edit. Why is my camera so blurry? Okay. So look, see, I just swipe. I just swipe. And there should be a bar at the bottom, but unfortunately, there we go, see? Look at that bar. It's moving ever so slightly every time I move it. That just goes to show just how that just goes to show how many videos I have. Look, they're not quite loading yet. Look, see, if I just let go, there, see? All of these clips from so long ago. They should be somewhere on my laptop, but... Jeez. And, once the bar shows up, there you go. See, the very earliest ones I have are from the trilogy video that I'm still in the middle of uploading. I had some of the earliest ones, but then I deleted them off my camera just to save space, but then I decided to keep some of the other ones. And I was just like, oh man, no. But thankfully those are uploaded now, so now, all of these, I was like, okay, well I could delete them, because I'm gonna, like, I could, like, you know, this is my backup, well, like, you know, like, the earliest ones are already on YouTube. And now these ones, even if they do fail on my computer, I could always take them from my camera. but now I can't, because now I'm going to delete them all. If I just move, then it goes directly to the opposite end. Rest in peace, camera. I wish you left. I swear, if my camera fell over now, I'd be so angry. There you go. Edit, delete, all scenes. Oh boy. Jeez. Okay, great. Oh, there we go. 4 hours and 9 minutes of room. I swear if file numbering appears again soon, I'm not sure if I'll be able to stop myself from throwing my camera.
Let's get this show on the road, eh? Yes, I review Doctor Who on this channel. Classic included. In fact, kind of only classic. Feel free to check things out. Okay, so you might be wondering why am I a little bit ticked off. I just had a big problem. I'll stick it at the end of the video. And you, if you're at all interested in the struggles that I go through. Honestly, my camera, while I'm kind of mad at it, I'm more mad at just God, really, for letting this happen. And right now I feel like my camera's a little bit sick. Okay, but, alright. Okay. I feel like taking it slow, because I swear if another file name error happens again, I'm gonna be so angry. The Good Place. The Good Place is just an amazing show, honestly. Like, it's just amazing. And you might be wondering, why am I suddenly doing a video about this? Like, out of nowhere. Like, even more random than my Twilight Zone video. Because then at least I was reviewing an episode. Here I'm just kind of talking and predictions and stuff like that. Well, The Good Place is coming to an end. So if I want to get a predictions video done, I'm probably going to have to do it soon. So what is The Good Place about? The age-old question. What is The Good Place about? If you're a fan of The Good Place, then you know just how, like, it just feels. It feels like Cheaty's fork in a garbage disposal thing whenever someone asks you, what is The Good Place about? Oh boy. Well, if you've never seen The Good Place, you just have to watch it. Now, I know I'm one of these people too. I just love spoilers. I feed off spoilers for breakfast is sometimes what I like saying. But The Good Place drops spoilers everywhere. And it's just so good if you just watch it through. And I'm like not joking. Seriously, like I googled the season 1 spoiler before I was even like halfway done season 1. And when I read about it, I was like, no, there's no way that's the case. And then I kept watching it and I was like, there's no way that's the case. And eventually I just kind of forgot about it. And by episode 12, I was just like, okay, some crazy Wikipedia guy. There's no way. And then when I reached the end, I was just like, huh. Okay. So, if you're still here, and if you really think that spoilers is fine, well, let me tell you. The story starts with Eleanor Shellstrop waking up in the afterlife, known as the Good Place, as opposed to the Bad Place. Now she explores for a bit, and about halfway through episode 1, we find out that she knows she was put there by mistake. She was actually a very cruel person on Earth, and most people would agree that she belongs in the Bad Place, and she was brought to the Good Place by mistake. Supposedly. Now, if you want more spoilers, well, around episode 3, a guy who we thought was a monk this entire time also turns out to be someone who was brought there by mistake and has his identity mistaken as well, so he's pretending to be a monk to not get caught. Oh, sorry, you still want more? Oh, you don't feel this for you? Literally halfway through the season, Eleanor just flat out admits that she doesn't belong there to God, basically. We call him Michael. You want even more? Eleanor's actually taking a spot of a real Eleanor that actually belongs in the good place and was put in the bad place. Oh, you still don't think that this show is good for you? In the finale, they're in the bad place the whole time. This whole thing has been set up to emotionally and psychologically torture Eleanor, the monk guy, Jianyu/Jason, plus Eleanor's moral philosophy professor who have been trying to teach her to be a good person so that she can earn her spot in the good place, and Tahani, who is also there. They're all here in heaven disguised hell. Like hell disguised as heaven.
Wait, what?
Michael, who we thought is a demon. Michael, we thought who was God, is actually a demon. And season 2 is all about the humans trying to make an all-evil demon good. And they succeed. Honestly, this show is just amazing, and honestly, if what I said does not convince you to go watch it, that hurts my soul. Like, it hurts my soul when someone has only seen like the first 2 episodes of the show and we're just like, it's not really for me. No, keep watching it. We're on the 4th and final season now, and like everything has changed. The premise has been ripped to the ground like 7 times now, about, probably. Okay, starting now, I'm gonna assume that you're all caught up, so if you haven't seen the show, and if what I'm saying doesn't make sense, maybe you could try watching the show. Firstly, I want to touch on a topic that seems to be confusing a lot of people, and that is, why is Doug Forcette getting points if he's only doing so that he can get into the good place? Because when we're introduced to Doug Forcette and find out just what the heck he's doing, only like a few episodes ago were we told that, I'm not sure if that's the right grammar, that Eleanor, Chidi, Tahani, and Jason, now that they know about the afterlife, they can't earn good place points anymore because every time that they do something good, it could just be deep down because they want to get into the good place. So why does Doug Forcette get it? Well, many people have explained this, but it's mainly because he does not know that there is a good place. Now, I know a lot of people are saying like, oh my god, this stupid excuse, it doesn't make any sense. Well, it does. Let me give you an example. Jeez. Way back last winter. Jeez. Last winter. Because it's snowing outside right now, and I have a distinct memory that this happened while it was snowing outside. So it must have been last winter, because it sure as heck didn't happen just a couple of weeks ago. I was walking down the street, and I saw an empty container of muffins just completely littered on the side of the road. And I was going to walk right past it. But then I stopped. And I was like, no. That's not what would get me into the good place. And then I picked it up. It would have been so weird if someone was just looking out their window and saw me just walk by, and then come back, pick up the muffin container, and then walk again. Now, if you wanted, you could say, well, technically, I only picked up the muffin container so that I could get into the good place. But I don't really believe that there is an afterlife. I don't have any reason to believe that there is an afterlife. So you can't really say that. Doug Forcette represents the closest that a person can possibly get to believing that there is an afterlife without actually having it as a certain fact in their mind that there is an afterlife. And I hope that cleaned that up. A question that I have is, if Simone thinks that the entire afterlife is a dream, why can't she just scratch her hand? I know that time probably isn't a construct, but there's day and night, so probably just look at a clock twice. If you're dreaming, it normally sets a different time, because you're thinking about it saying a different time. Pick up a book, like Catcher in the Rye, whatever. Start reading it, read like a paragraph, close it, open up to the same page, read it again. It should be about a completely different story. There's lots of ways to tell if it's a dream or not. And I know if it's right before death, then it could be some sort of hyper-realistic dream, but come on, mate. I just deleted the first clip because it was a little bit of a kind of not really blooper. I just kind of walked back and then came back because I decided that I needed something. But, yeah, I'm always nervous if there's a file name error. Anyway, predictions time. These are some false predictions that I had way back in the day. Can we just all agree that season 4 was kind of boring? Like, I don't know, maybe you really liked it. Apparently a lot of people like it, but it's like Doctor Who Series 11 all over again, except not as bad. Like, it's just like, it's the same stuff over and over again. Episode 1, I was really excited because I'm like, yes, a twist. This is the good place again. And then episode 2, I was like, okay, come on. Any moment now, they're going to reveal that Michael's really a Michael suit. And then it just ended with no cliffhanger or twist whatsoever. And I'm fairly certain that season 4, episode 2, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost certain that that is the first episode in the show's history to not end on a cliffhanger, like a direct cliffhanger. So I was just a little bit disappointed. Then season 4, episode 3, I was also pretty much equally disappointed if it weren't for that train thing. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it feels kind of unearned. It felt like you just took a scene from the next episode and put it as a cliffhanger. But at least there's a cliffhanger. I thought maybe it was the judge coming. Because, to be honest, I didn't even notice that it was a cloak. I thought that it was like her hair sort of thing and she was in her judge robe thing. I thought that, I'm just reading this off my phone, the judge coming to let the Soul Squad know one of them has been replaced by a Michael suit. Well, has been replaced by a demon suit thing. It could have been Michael, who knows? Because the humans don't know if it's Michael or not. And they might think that it's Chidi, because he's the one that wiped his memory and would be the least suspectful. Maybe the judge had her communicator tampered with by the bad place and either had her powers taken away or technically can't restart the experiment since the bad place stopping her communicating didn't affect anything. And the Michael suit was already a factor imposed in before her threat of restarting the experiment should more tampering occur was made. Okay, sorry, terrible grammar, but I hope you get what I was saying. Anyway, all that was apparently wrong. This is, I came up with this prediction before episode 8 aired. I thought that it was like, Bad Janet, rebooted 1,000,000 times, 4,000 times, something like that. I don't know. Reads the manifesto and turns good, but since she's a bad Janet, it's a good bad Janet, a medium Janet, not a neutral Janet, but the world's, the existence's first medium Janet. Just like we're getting neutral Janets to be good ones, we could get bad Janets to become neutral ones, and then get them to be good ones. Okay, gibberish aside, let's get on to actual predictions. Now, Tahani's actress has claimed that the ending is heartbreaking. Maybe it's the good place doesn't really exist. I remember I bring that up to people, and they're all just like, no. But remember, that's exactly what you would think if you had watched season 1 and then you were told, oh hey, did you know that they're really in the bad place? Or at least that's my prediction. You'd be like, no. But now, you just can't rewatch season 1 the same way because you know the final twist. Imagine if it's the good place. Remember, Sean is so determined to make sure that they don't go into the good place. Michael suggests getting people from the good place, and the way that Sean just jumps in, over my dead skin suit.
I say we get them from the good place. Over my dead skin suit. Well,
it could be seen as, oh, he just doesn't want actual good people, or maybe there's something else that he's hiding. Of course, it could be they're all really in the bad place and this was all a test to see where they belong in the bad place. And the ending could be that they are all just sent straight to hell and they should have taken not being tortured for all of seasons 1 and 4 for granted. It could be that this is all some sort of the universe's or existence's biggest escape room, in which once you manage to eventually get out, then you're led into the good place because you've officially reformed. Maybe this is all going to be revealed to have been on Earth the whole time as part of a futuristic scientific test, and then maybe just as a super black comedic effect at the end, an asteroid hits them and everyone dies for real. And it could just be, I feel like the ending is going to be not being tortured for granted. I don't know, I just feel, I have a feeling in my soul. It could also end very similar to, bringing it back to the very beginning. Maybe this is all some sort of complicated time loop, and honestly, I don't know. I feel like the way that it could end is possibly, or maybe even the penultimate episode, the second to last episode, could end with everything starting over. Just everything starting over. Everyone gets rebooted and we're back at the beginning of season 1. And then maybe that 90-minute finale is going through it all again really, really quick, but changing something so that we're not just in a loop forever. I also thought that there was a big chance that episode 8 would be the judge comes down and says, you guys are all 1 point away from reaching the threshold, so all to hell, bye-bye. But then Eleanor just basically begs and says, please just let it go on for 1 more second so that Brent can finish his apology. And the judge is like, okay. And she lets it go, and then Brent just goes, you think that way. As in, sorry, you think that way. I thought that might have been kind of funny, but according to the weird chart thing, Brent was getting worse and worse and worse, and then BAM! And then it said right up here that the apology was genuine. So whatever. I also predicted that the judge is going to partially ignore the results, even if they are good, and point out that Eleanor, Chidi, Tahani, Jason, Michael, and Janet have all depended on lying to improve the humans. This doesn't seem to be the case. I thought that it might be. Maybe the judge is a judge suit, but I don't think it's happening. I know this is a ridiculous thing for the judge to say, as if they told the new humans the truth, they would have corrupted their own motivations on the spot. However, the judge has proven herself to be nothing but a forking idiot from the very beginning. I remind you, she is supposedly the inventor of the bad place, which is the worst thing anyone could possibly do. Or maybe the judge is some sort of ultimate demon, tricking everybody. Sean is definitely going to turn good by the end of it. Like, he just has to, right? So, like, maybe the judge is like some sort of ultimate demon. I'm also calling it that bad Janet, due to her being rebooted like 4,000 times or something, is going to read the manifesto and bust in at the last second to claim that they are judging humans all wrong. If demons can improve, why can't bad Janet's rebooting them literally supposedly improves them? BAM! That prediction was right. Geez, I'm running out of battery on my camera, not space. Sorry, this will all make sense if you watch the final clip. On to predictions for even next episode. Now, I'm not sure what the heck Chidi's gonna do. Obviously, the show can't end with people going to hell. Like, just think about it. Like, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. What crime is worthy of eternal punishment? Eternal punishment. I feel like the others will manage to convince the judge that she can't just reboot the universe. Because humans don't get a chance to do that either. Honestly, all the time, I'm just like, I know the judge is like the ultimate boss right now, but why can't someone just like scream at her that she is being a bad person? With her personality, she is being a bad person. Humans don't get to just restart everything the moment something doesn't go right. They have to fix it from where they are with what they got. The judge has to do that too. She screwed up. Made your bed, now lie in it. Yeah, by the time the show ends, the judge will at least have been confronted, being told that she would never get into the good place herself, so she must judge humans as she would want them to treat her. The golden rule. Okay, finally, last prediction. I also want to call that the final twist is that this whole show has been entirely in either Eleanor or Michael, or now that I've seen episode 8, I'll throw in Chidi and Sean's head. And this is what they are seeing right before they die as a human on Earth. Both Eleanor and Michael and Chidi, and by the end of this show, definitely Sean, will have gone through a bigger character journey than anyone else. And the final twist is that they were both actually bad people on Earth and are having this ultimate vision of improving in the final seconds before they die. Because for all we know, there is no afterlife, and I feel that the moral of the story would be that we only have a limited amount of time on Earth. While it is unlikely, I feel like the show has so far given the message that while you should try to improve, you have plenty of time to do it in the afterlife, so why bother on Earth? Since people theorize that this whole medium place experiment is going to become the default place for humans to go to see if they can improve or not, that seems more certain than anything. The moral of the story is that you don't have all the time in the world to improve. It's best to try and do it now before you die, and lights out.